Hello, bonjour. Mon nom est Graffiti Karen et je suis le despondant correspondant. I wanted to share parts of my journey that somehow, thanks to the nurses and gynecologist at Women's College Hospital, I'm finally getting out of crisis and perhaps finding my footing again to be a vessel for change. So it's been quite a journey since I've arrived in Toronto. And I think I've realized that this is now my reality. After July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, I finally landed here in a hotel shelter in North York, the city that I was born in. Somehow, beside the police station, in a shelter run by Salvation Army. And what's become abundantly clear to me is that I would like Women's College to perhaps amplify my story and the story of many others through the power of music and dance and song. So in my journey since I've arrived here, I've learned the humbling nature of finally understanding how to ask for help so that I may return to practice, perhaps as a sexual assault nurse or even a sports medicine doctor, because of my experiences and the excellent non-judgmental care I've received from Women's College from the very beginning. From the nurse Diane and her cool jacket with, I think it was a leopard on the back, to the day where I saw a team of journalists in media relations making a video of someone near the sculpture that I like to sit in and think, the women's sculpture in front of Women's College Hospital. I suppose I'm sharing this video because I've realized the impact of my career, which is to do impossible things like moving to Africa and starting a charity and understanding that all my wounds are somehow gifts. If I feel vulnerable enough to share them. So it's taken half a year, more than half a year, to finally realize that I'd rather see a sports medicine doctor and the nurses at Women's College and the gynecologist, Dr. Kirkham at Women's College, than access the standard universal health care approach to mental health and sexual health. It's taken so much time to realize that, in fact, I can heal myself. I reached out a few weeks ago, and then again lost my confidence in myself, because I suppose that is the global impact and far-reaching effects of trauma untangling again and again. But after doing a lot of art therapy on myself, I've realized that it would give me so much joy if Women's College Hospital perhaps partnered with the sports medicine team that has been helping support me to be able to dance again, flamenco dance specifically, and support perhaps with a dream of dancing in all black and shooting a video of myself as a nameless, faceless, silent dancer in front of Women's College, who now finally has the ability to dream again. I feel really compelled to tell my story because over and over again, it's not heard. Over and over again, people have told me to stop loving myself. But I think the clinicians at Women's College have helped me be able to dream again. I hope that perhaps I can share this story and fulfill a dream and live in the public eye to try to get back my license as a nurse. So in 2013, in Vancouver, I was forced to resign after not acknowledging the impact of sexual trauma on my fitness to practice as a nurse. And I think finally I'm in some sort of place in this hotel shelter where perhaps I can fly again and address the upside down elephant in the room. I think it's important for me to tell my story because I'm a nurse who became a filmmaker. I'm a nurse who feels deeply misunderstood in Canada because most of my trauma was sustained in Africa. And I think I'd like to try to tell my story and other people's stories, either anonymously or perhaps with a photograph of their dancing feet at home, so that we can change how the police deal with things. In my time, I've worked alongside the Vancouver police, and I've also donated art to the Vancouver police-funded Odd Squad Society, which is a filmmaking company that tries to change the narrative of gang violence and train police to use of force appropriately. So what I'm trying to say is that I guess I would like to share the power of a story and the power of vulnerability in the hopes that I can use this story as a platform to inspire other people to live their journey and to access the wonderful, mostly male care providers I've acquired from a sports medicine doctor who's really interested in mushroom therapy and psychedelics for trauma to a former engineer turned sports medicine doctor who really helped prevent, I guess, my almost suicide at Christmas after some more acts of violence. I'd like to share my story in a film and perhaps use it at Women's College Hospital to begin looking into researching how might we use dance and sports medicine and trying to pivot and nudge the systemic barriers faced by warriors who face violence to simply live and dance their way out of the dark again. I shot this unscripted, and I shot this because I feel really compelled to perhaps return to nursing in a very different capacity. In research and using movement and the unlikely partnership, perhaps, of sports medicine to look at trauma. I think as a victim of #Me5, so 5 acts of violence in my life, every day somehow eating cheese and making little vaginas and vulvas out of wax has been healing me. And I'd like to test this on more people, and perhaps develop a web series or YouTube channel to help more people and help them realize that they are in fact resilient and can help themselves. I think from my experiences in Toronto, I've found that the systems that support victims are few and far between, yet they're staffed by really kind people that want to make a difference. And strangely enough, I've been having really good experiences lately with the Toronto police. And I think I feel compelled to also ask them to share their side of the story. So that's it. I guess I'll just leave it here and leave you with this image. And perhaps leave you with my dream. So my dream is to have a sexual health clinic mobile, perhaps funded by TELUS Babylon. So TELUS is a telemedicine provider. And this mobile sexual health clinic might have things like makeup or a nurse who can do pelvic exams, or simply just something that is not medical at all, like the victim's favorite song, and a space to sit and cry or scream or just be themselves. It would be my dream to build this van in both Canada and Africa and try to build a global friendship with the team that I've been working with in Malawi and Women's College, and share the many insights that the nurses have helped me notice about myself. I think for me, the terrible silence around violence has been broken, and because of the great care I've received at WCH, I've been inspired to create a resource for other folks so that they don't take too long to ask for help and suffer alone like I've been. Showing up crying in a puddle or a lump at women's college in the middle of the night, or showing up in the psych emergency ward being taken care of in all the wrong ways. So that's it. I hope you find this video compelling, and I hope that perhaps we can continue this conversation. And this is Graffiti Karen, signing out from a hotel shelter in North York, the city that I was born in, and perhaps now the city that I've been reborn in and rebranded in, as someone who still has the capacity to care, albeit perhaps in a very different way.